Today we're going to make fancy wild rice in the Instant Pot. Let's get started. Hello everybody, Chef Bob here today, and I've had a request to make wild rice in an Instant Pot. It was a friend who just bought a brand new Instant Pot and said, Chef Bob, can you show me how to make a simple wild rice recipe? One that'll turn out well and, you won't have to worry about it. So let's get started. I have some wild rice blend. You can have any kind you like. This is Lundberg brand wild rice. I have about 1.5 cups. And I used a, not the rice cup that comes with this. Most rice cups that come with pressure cookers or rice cookers are an actual 3/4 cup or 6 ounces. So I used an 8-ounce measure cup, and I used 1.5 8-ounce cups of wild rice. I rinsed it and drained it. So that's what we have here. We're also going to use about a tablespoon of butter, half an onion, and about a teaspoon of garlic and some salt and pepper. This will be for the first step. So what we'll do is, this is the 8-quart Instant Pot. I have it plugged in. And what I want to do is I want to saute the onion first. But before we saute it, we have to chop it up. So for that, instead of using the Ninja, today I'm going to use the Philips Chopper. This one's a little different. With the Ninja, you pulse it until you get the size you want. But some people panic that they'll overdo it and get it into mush. So what happens is the Philips has a unique basket with holes. So what happens is, as it's grinding, the pieces will fall through the holes and try to keep them all from turning into mush. It'll try to keep them more of a consistent size. So we'll put our basket in. Put our blade in. Now we'll put in, this is about 1/2 of a medium onion. I just cut it into quarters so it fits in there. Okay. Put our cap on. Put this on. I'll have to plug this in. And let's see it do its action here. See how it falls down as it grates it and grinds it up? That way it'll get consistent pieces. Okay, we're done. Take off our lid. Now there's some in the basket, and then what we have in here is all grated to the same size and consistency. So that's a nice little alternative to some of the other ones, and this is the Philips brand. So we'll take this out. Oop. First things first. I'm getting ahead of myself here. We have to turn this on to saute mode. So I'm going to hit this. There we go. One time, 30 minutes, saute. I'm going to wait for this to heat up a little bit. I'm going to put in our tablespoon of butter, and I'm going to put in some oil. And it's starting. So once this heats up, I'll put the butter, the oil, and the onions. I'll be back in about 2 minutes. Alright, it's been about 2 minutes or so. I wanted to get this preheated. Now I'm just going to put in our tablespoon of butter. And I'm going to put a little bit of oil. You can use olive oil or whatever favorite oil you want. I just want to put a little bit in there. Actually, I'm going to put a little more. And I'm going to add our garlic, our 1 teaspoon of garlic, our 1/2 medium-sized onion, and saute this a little bit. I just want to saute that onion a little bit to make it a little sweeter. I don't want, just to caramelize that a little bit. I got to get away from it or I'll start to cry here in these onion vapors here. So that's going to get a little translucent on me. And then what I'll do is, let's put a little salt and pepper. And put as much as you like. Now, I just want to get this a little bit. We'll let this go for a little bit longer. And what I'm also going to do is put the rice in here first without the liquids. So we'll put the rice in here and cook it a little bit to get it maybe a little bit translucent. That's going to take a couple of minutes, so I'll break away for that. So what I'm going to do, I'm going to add just a touch more oil. I like using a can like this because it lets me control it through the small spout instead of pouring it through the bottle where you might accidentally put too much. So I'm just going to put the rice in here. And we're going to cook the rice, like I said, for maybe, I don't know, 3 to 5 minutes or so. I want it to try to get a little bit translucent, almost a little crunchy looking, but not burnt or anything like that. So I'm going to stir this occasionally, saute it, and I'll bring you back here in about 3 to 5 minutes. Okay, it's been about 3 minutes. I've sauteed the rice with the onions and the garlic. And the reason I did this to the rice was I wanted to bring out a little bit of that nutty flavor of the wild rice blend. And just give it a little different texture also. So that's about ready to go. So now, if you recall, that was 1.5 cups of wild rice. Now I'm going to put 2 cups of ham broth. You can use chicken broth, ham broth, beef broth. You can just use water. I'm going to use about 2 cups of ham broth. Just going to give this a stir. Now, it really depends on what type of rice you're using as far as the amount of liquid. A short grain, sushi type of rice, you're going to use a 1-to-1 ratio. With the brown rices, maybe 1.25 cups of water to 1 cup of rice. So I did 1.5 cups of rice and 2 cups of broth. That's going to be close. The worst thing that could happen is if your rice, you're done and it comes out a little dry, just add a little bit of water when we're done. I'll show you and explain this again, but just add a little bit of water, put the lid back on and leave it while it's warm in warm mode, and it'll absorb that moisture and be fine. So if it's a little too dry at the end, because of your rice might require more water, just put a little more water, put the lid on, and let it go a little longer. So we're going to try this with this wild rice blend. It's been a while since I've used it, so let's see how this one goes. Now what we're going to do, put the lid on, make sure you have it locked, and then you got to put it on. I'm having a hard time seeing with the lights in my okay, I'm unsealed, so it's sealed. And now what I got to do here is I want to cancel saute mode. And I want to put it on not rice mode, because this is a wild rice blend. I want to use the multigrain mode. That's going to go a little longer. Rice is only going to get me up to maybe 12 to 20 minutes. I want to go a little longer. I want to go to about that 30 to 40 minute range. I've already had some rices take full 45. It depends. So we're going to do multigrain. And that says 40 minutes. I'm going to let it go at 40. And then we're going to let it release naturally, the pressure. We'll just leave it slowly release. So it's set to, it just turned on now, it kicked in. So it's multigrain, 40 minutes. I'll see you back here in about 40 minutes. Actually, it'll be a little longer because I'm going to let it release the pressure naturally. So it'll probably take maybe 50 minutes or so. And I'll be back and we'll look at the final product and give it a taste. Okay, everybody, it's been about 50 minutes or so. I let it naturally release. And I was on keep warm mode. I turned it off to keep warm because I didn't want it to keep heating right now. So I'm going to put the, it's on seal, I'm going to put it to release. I'm going to be careful because there will still be some residual steam and I don't want to get burned. So be careful when you lift the lid. As you can see, there's still a lot of steam in here. Now, I think maybe I have the overhead camera going and you can see this, and I'll just tilt this forward. It looks to be about right. So let me scoop this out and we'll see how it turned out. Looks pretty good to me. And as you can see, put it right in front of the camera here. And that looks, I mean, great to me. It looks totally cooked, not underdone, not too dry, not a lot of extra water going around. So the multigrain mode worked perfectly with 1.5 cups of wild rice blend and 2 cups of broth. Now I saved a little bit in here. I'm going to put in a bowl to taste. some more in here. I'll put it in here. Get the rest of this later. Okay. So now, this is going to be very hot, but I still want to give it a taste and let you know how it turned out. So again, remember we sauteed some onions, we sauteed some garlic, a little bit of butter and oil. Then we put in our rice and sort of toasted it or sauteed it a little bit. Then we added the ham broth, some salt and pepper. That was it. Very simple to do. Hit the multigrain button. Oh, and in the beginning when we sauteed that, don't forget we hit the saute button. Hit the saute button, did all that, added our broth at the end, and then we switched it over. We hit cancel and we put it on multigrain. Let it cook for 40 minutes. I turned off, when I heard it go off, I canceled the keep warm mode and just let it naturally release. So let's give it a taste. It's perfect. The texture is just about right. Now, what I was saying in the beginning, I'll just repeat that real quick. If you're using a short grain rice, like short grain white rice, use a 1-to-1 water ratio. Brown rice maybe 1 1/4 to 1, and wild rice blend or maybe some other rices which really require a lot of water and cooking time. You may want to use 1 1/2, some maybe even 2 cups to 1. That's kind of high though, because the more water you add, if you add too much water, your rice will turn out too soft. So whenever you make a rice like this or new variety of rice or type rice, keep in mind if it comes out a little too dry, if this would have been too dry, all you would have to do would have been to add a little bit of water, put the lid back on. Don't need to have it cooking, just put it on keep warm, add some water, put the lid on, stir it, and leave it set for a couple more minutes to absorb the water, and you'd be fine. Now if it's too much water and the rice is too soft, if it comes out too soft, the next time you make it, use a little less water, because the amount of water you add to the amount of rice will determine how hard or how soft it is, assuming you cook it for the proper amount of time. If you undercook it, then naturally it won't be right. But just adjust the liquid. Again, if it's too firm, add a little more liquid. And then if it's too soft, you won't be able to fix this batch, but the next time you make rice, just add a little less. I'm going to try it again. It's a very good. It's just a nice side dish. Simple to make if you just got an Instant Pot and you want to try it out and you're not sure what to make. This is a good starter recipe just to get the feel of the machine, build up your confidence and get used to using it. So thank you for watching. I hope you enjoyed this video, and if you'd like to see more like it, maybe more Instant Pot recipes or pressure cooker recipes, let me know. Please click the thumbs up, like, subscribe buttons. Click the little bell to get notified when I put new videos. And also other types of requests or comments. I'll also answer the comments and create the videos that you request. So thank you for watching. I'm going to need a little bit more of this. It's pretty good. It's a nice simple recipe. Just onions, garlic, wild rice, ham broth. The choice of broth makes a difference too. Instant Pot, wild rice, good starter dish to make. Thank you for watching.